as far as funding models go, there's a couple of basic types. Zero-based modeling is just a weird form of baseline funding, where all you do is try to keep yourself from going into the rhubarb. You just keep it above zero, that's it. It's not even really permitted because you have to have that 25% of the operating budget in there, and to try to just maintain a balance of zero all the way along, just hit everything with special assessments, is just the wonderful world of ups and downs and big surprises, and I don't think too many homeowners want to see that. In our office, we've had lots of people who are buying condos bring their depreciation reports to us to read, to give them the thumbs up or thumbs down. And in 10 years, there's 5 special assessments proposed. 2,000 here, 4,000 there, 5,000. And the people are like, I really like the balcony in the condo. One was telling me, I really like the balcony in the condo. And she's trying to do the math. Like, and I said, if they're proposing this, what else is in it? You got to read. And so there's some scary stuff in there. Baseline or adequate funding model is to just minimize the contributions and the assessments that you need to get to a just-in-time funding. So we're not worried about paying for the windows in year 30, we're worried about paying for the windows that are leaking right now today. Okay? And it's getting you to a point where you're comfortable with your contribution fund, you're not to the point where you're rating the fund for other things, but you have to be able to live in the building and you've basically got to live your life. And there's a huge opportunity cost that comes along with having a reserve that's got $6 million in it when you could have that money in your own accounts. Because earning 0.9% is a little bit different than earning 10.9%, which is what the market did over the last 10 years, right? And then the last one is the full funding model, which is the Cadillac of depreciation planning, and it is like a warm hug to depreciation planners. It's very conservative, it's very easy, and what it's based on is linear depreciation of an asset. You take the windows, they cost $100,000 to do the windows, they're going to last for 25 years, you need to put 1/25 adjusted for inflation per year aside for the windows. But the problem with the model is it goes out 30 years, so not only do you have to save for the 25-year windows, you have to start saving for 5 years for the windows that are going to be done in year 50. And that's not immediately apparent if you look at full funding, and that's why the reserve funds get massive. And I'll show you a little example right here. So this is the same property and the same expenditures. Oh yeah, you can see it. The top model is the adequate funding model, okay? So you've got the same expenditures, and you'll notice that purple line that just dives and dives and dives. That's an imaginary deficiency called the reserve fund deficiency. So that's from a hypothetical fully funded position, that's how much money you're short. And you'll notice at the end of the reserve fund, it gets to $6 million. But in the contributions, you can't really see it because of the scale, but the contributions are generally quite low. The balance builds up here in 2021 before a couple of major expenditures come along, and then you'll notice the balance drops down to almost nothing and it keeps humming along until you start to ramp it up again in 2039, because there's more expenditures coming at the tail end. Now, if you look at the reserve fund study below it, so now you've got basically a special assessment right off the bat to get to a fully funded position. You'll notice the purple line is 0 all the way along. And the contribution builds to over $6 million by the end of the fund. I can't imagine having a reserve fund of $6 million. The D&O exposure there for the insurance companies is crazy. Start writing checks on that for Ferraris.
So what Rick's saying here, because the first time he explained this graph to me, I was like, okay, explain it again.
Yeah.
So really what it is he's talking about gathering funds as you go along for events that are coming up in the medium term. Okay, so that 5 to 10 years. So we're not saying don't save. What we're saying is save intelligently. Efficiently. Mm-hmm. What you don't want to do is just have this massive, huge fund sitting there that's being built up that you're going to be able to re-roof it in 2100. Like literally, because that's what happens with the fund, is you end up with this huge thing saving for when the building probably will be mowed down. And so instead of doing that, which is a lot of the industry is saying it, fully fund everything. It doesn't make sense in the long term because you're saving for things that are never going to happen. So instead, intelligently save for that 5 to 10 year window and take a look at what's coming up, what's affecting the building, and then make a plan for saving that. And your planner, Rick, or Rick's team, or any decent depreciation report company can help you with that, forecasting what's coming up. You already have to pay for it, so you might as well get some value out of it, and you have to update it every 3 years.
Yeah.
And so chances are, things aren't gonna significantly change in 3 years, but things are slowly going to age in your building, and they're gonna be able to say, oh, your boilers, you've actually done a great job maintaining your boilers, so we can even push this out a little farther. So there's no point in saving for that in the next 10 years. Oh wow, your roof is deteriorating really quickly. So, you know, that's, instead of it lasting 50 years like we thought, it's probably only gonna last 10 years. So let's start making a plan on how we save to that. So it's really important that you have that conversation with the planner. In the past, what was happening is the depreciation reports were being created, given to the council, given to the property management company, we were going, oh good, and then flip to the page of how much you saved. Wow, that's scary, and we never looked at them again, right? So this is what we wanna do, is we wanna use those valuable tools for planning, and we think the difference is taking that medium term look. Let's keep going.
Absolutely.